One Zambia, One Nation, good evening and welcome to the ZNBC main news. Stories making headlines in the news tonight. President Edgar Lungu says government will continue prioritizing investments in health systems that will enable the country to attain universal health coverage. Justice Minister Given Lubinda has advised Zambians not to miss the opportunity to come up with a constitution that is responsive to the current dynamics. Patriotic Front Secretary General Davis Mwila has advised National Democratic Congress consultant Chishimba Kambwili to stop calling President Edgar Lungu at night. And Chief Chamuka of the Lenje-speaking people of Chisamba district says the values of love and national unity should not be sacrificed for anything. Another news in detail. I am Paxina Hankanga. President Edgar Lungu says government will continue prioritizing investments in health systems that will enable the country to attain universal health coverage. President Lungu says this is because quality health services foster national development. The head of state notes that government has prioritized primary health care services in line with the Patriotic Front manifesto because it is a cornerstone of national development. He said this at the laying of the foundation stone for the construction of Edgar Chagwa Lungu Mini Hospital in Bahati constituency of Mansa District, Luapula Province. Details in the following report.
This marks the start of the construction of Edgar Chagwa Lungu Hospital in Bahati constituency. It will be part of the 108 mini hospitals that government has undertaken countrywide. This is in a quest towards the attainment of universal health coverage. President Edgar Lungu says government is resolved to providing quality health care.
These 48-bed capacity mini hospitals will include a package of key high-impact services such as maternal and child health services, surgical services, laboratory services, both in and outpatient departments, as well as staff accommodation. This is a clear demonstration of our resolve as government to provide quality health care services to the people of Zambia, leaving no one behind.
And Health Minister Chitalu Chilufya and Provincial Minister Nixon Chilangwa are elated with this development.
Your Excellency, your presence here is an emphatic statement of your desire for universal health coverage. Your coming here, Your Excellency, is to take a lead in the developmental agenda that we've set for this country and for this province in particular and this chiefdom.
Earlier, President Lungu paid a courtesy call on Chief Kalaba at his palace.
Human development has got no limit.
President Lungu has also assured the people of Calabar that government will continue to address their challenges to improve their well-being. Ruth Chainda, ZNBC News, Mansa.
And President Lungu has challenged people seeking and occupying political office to remain humble and walk with God. Speaking at United Church of Zambia UCZ Mansa South Consistory All Saints Congregation today, where he attended the service, President Lungu also urged the church to receive anyone for fellowship so that they are fed with the gospel. He noted a growing trend for people to frequent the church when seeking political office to woo votes. President Lungu said he has remained sober, normal and humble because he walks with God through the journey of life. The head of state further said he is where he is today because of his walk with God and prayers of the church. President Lungu has also assured Mansa residents that development will continue to roll into the district and Rwapula province.
There is a growing trend. The Lonipa 14 Sunday, July 2019. Na beluka abantu na beshobata. Mulile samwa ifisuma. Na batampokisa ku church. Bonsa balefoka wa councillor, balefoka wa MP, balefoka wa president was na beshiba kwali be church kwali balesa. Na besa. Apokeleleni. Bano kwali balesa. But imwe badishene amashuri so that ngabakwate eshuko lyakusalwa mukadebe bukisha fyo bati mwalira ibe okera tumukala bomba na lesa mwikalipa yo teke ni mutima panchi pantu itondera ndilefyo nimbono kweba ati bamwe tule bomba nabo nabalerisha bene bafya bakauka ngama ndimu wafika mpe tio kosela iwe nisho inganje baiwe iyo ine shingiro kwa minister kwa president.
And during the sermon, a minister in charge of All Saints Congregation, Milna Kangende, encouraged President Lungu to continue walking with God. Reverend Kangende also thanked government for the development that is currently being witnessed in the province.
As we face the battles of life, I encourage every one of us to keep walking with God. I encourage every Zambian that despite whatever we may meet, let us keep walking with God, because it's only God in the history of humanity that has never lost a battle.
Meanwhile, President Edgar Lungu has urged the Patriotic Front structures in Rwapula province not to undermine the presidency and their members of parliament. President Lungu says he is aware that there are some elements who want to remove him and other constitutional holders by campaigning against the party before their term in office comes to an end. Addressing PF members in Mansa today, President Lungu said there is need for the party to protect and ensure structures are intact. The head of state said he has the responsibility to resolve the wrangles in the party when they arise. He said the PF should remain united and work with government to effectively serve the people. President Lungu also urged party members and parliamentarians to explain developmental projects to the people. The head of state has since directed the PF provincial chairperson for Rwapula, Nixon Chilangwa, to visit Lunga and Chifunabuli to meet the people and PF members.
We are going towards elections in the party as we go towards 2021. I expect whoever is in charge of the party and whoever will be elected as party leader at whatever level to respect the term of office which you gave me. By respecting the term of office of those members of parliament you chose me along with to save this country. Otherwise, you are destroying our party, you are destroying the future of the people of Rwapula who deposited such confidence in us. So to you, Chairman of the province, and indeed your colleagues in the province and the district and the constituencies, my humble plea is let us respect the mandate we gave to each other. Only then will we believe.
Now, Patriotic Front Secretary General Davis Mwila has advised National Democratic Congress consultant Chishimba Kambwili to stop calling President Edgar Lungu at night. Mr. Mwila says it is not right for the NDC leader to keep calling the head of state at night whilst insulting him during the day. He says if Mr. Kambwili wants to rejoin the ruling party, all he must do is come out in the open by engaging the Copperbelt party leadership. The PF Secretary General said this in Chavuma district when he received close to 2,000 defectors from various opposition political parties, including members of the United Party for National Development, UPND. And Mr. Mwila said the continued defections from the UPND in Northwestern Province is clear indication of the confidence and trust that people have in the ruling party and its government. Speaking earlier, Northwestern Province Patriotic Front Chairperson Jackson Kungo said the party is enjoying massive support across the province because of the unprecedented development people are witnessing.
What you want from the president? You've been insulting the president and then at night you are calling the president. Please stop. If you want to join the party, just come. Go and see the producer chairman Nathan Chanda. He tells them. You can't be insulting someone during the day, at night you are calling him. No sir, it's urgent. No sir, it's urgent. Just come to the party.
Secretary General, this is Chavuma. Mufafe. Nanamula alamulero tako Chavuma. Na kujoina PF naye nuwa miaka ya mkubwa provincial chairman kuno. Kangwa zangire wakureza mkwangwe niwawezanga waliri. Walirizo bwana mpivwa kuya wewe. Kuya wewe.
Meanwhile, Mr. Kambwili has denied calling President Lungu with the aim of going back to the Patriotic Front. He has, however, stated that he only tried to call the President, Minister of Justice Given Luwinda, Finance Minister Margaret Mwanakatwe, and Presidential Affairs Freedom Sikazwe to advise them on how to handle the burial of late veteran footballer Dixon Makwaza. Mr. Kambwili was speaking in a telephone interview with ZNBC News. Now, 3 political parties taking part in the Katuba parliamentary constituency by-election have intensified their campaigns ahead of the election slated for July 30th. PF Katuba constituency campaign manager Paul Monga says the party has set up 52 camps in the area. He told ZNBC News that the PF is receiving good response from the people of Katuba, stating that the support is good enough for victory. And United Prosperous and Peaceful Zambia UPPZ national spokesperson Francis Kope says the party was in Kamaila Ward, where its candidate Bertha Mangenya comes from, and was doing door-to-door campaigns. Meanwhile, United Party for National Development UPND campaign manager Cornelius Muitwa said the campaigns have started on a peaceful note and are being done side by side with the PF in the area.
As campaign manager for Katuba parliamentary by-elections, I'm very happy with the way our campaign is going on. As UPND, we are here with our candidate here at the market, and you can see the mood, the general mood. We are on our way to the main meeting that we are going to have today, 2 meetings. We are doing very well. The reception is encouraging, and you just saw our colleagues, the Patriotic Front. They were here. We're interacting with them. We are sharing a message of peace that in this particular by-elections, we do not want any violence. We want it to be incident-free. The same way you found us interacting with them here is the way we want the whole, constituency, that UPND and PF must be able to interact.
The Electoral Commission of Zambia, ECZ, has suspended submissions of the delimitation exercise in Zambezi district of Northwestern Province after confusion ensued between various groups. ECZ spokesperson Margaret Chimanze says stakeholders could not agree on demarcations of the constituency and where polling stations were going to be. She says the delimitation is pending further further consultation with all stakeholders. Ms. Chimanse says the stakeholders who made submissions included chiefs, different tribes and churches. She was speaking in a telephone interview with ZNBC News in Lusaka today. Now, a video circulating on social media is showing people throwing chairs at each other at a meeting in Zambezi district.
We know what's going on, and if you've gone to our page, we are posting everything every day. Okay. We have our Facebook page, and yesterday by 16, we posted something to the effect that the delimitation sittings in Zambezi had been suspended.
Oh, okay.
Pending further consultations with stakeholders.
Oh, okay.
So we have various stakeholders until we see how we can go forward. Delimitation has been postponed or suspended for the time being.
Oh, okay, because of that incident. What was the problem?
I think it's the issue of demarcating boundaries.
Okay.
Stakeholders couldn't agree on whether to create a new constituency and where it should be and the boundaries.
Chief Jamuga of the Lenje-speaking people of Chisamba district says the values of love and national unity should not be sacrificed for anything. Chief Jamuga says this is because love for one another and national unity have made it possible for the country to remain peaceful since independence in 1964. Hector Simfukwe now reports.
The construction of various infrastructure projects in Chisamba district of Central Province is progressing well. The project started coming up following the declaration of Chisamba as a district in 2012. Among the facilities being built are houses, a police station, district administration block, a civic center and a post office. Chief Chamka of the Lenje-speaking people is happy with the progress recorded this far.
We believe that the commencement of the works, and once completed, that is going to enable our people access national services or justice services in general closer to them and easily.
Authorities in the area have urged the Ministry of Housing and Infrastructure Development to ensure the projects are completed on time.
One of the importance of having this facility is that the government has always wanted to take the services as close as possible to the residents, and where this civic center has been brought is actually very close to the people.
Meanwhile, Chief Chamka has urged Zambians to love one another as this promotes national unity.
If people unite, they work together, they show love to each other, they guide each other, they criticize where necessary or criticize constructively, there is always development. If, for example, something goes wrong, I think there is a way by which we can criticize. So I encourage all the Zambians to unite. I encourage all the Zambians to appreciate a peaceful environment which we have enjoyed in Zambia for more than 50 years.
The traditional leader and his subjects are looking forward to the completion of the projects so that the chiefdom can start utilizing them. Hector Simfukwe, ZNBC News, Central Province.
You're watching ZNBC News live from Lusaka. Right now we take a break. Join us for more news on the other side. Now here's an item just received. President Edgar Lungu has described as unfortunate the confusion that arose between Lundas and Luvales during the delimitation exercise in Zambezi district of Northwestern Province. President Lungu says it is sad that tribal conflicts among the two tribes have continued even after independence. He says investigations will be carried out to ascertain the cause of the wrangles between the two tribes. The head of state has challenged the two groupings to embrace the spirit of one Zambia, one nation. Now, President Lungu was speaking when he arrived from Nampula province, where he was on a 2-day working visit.
Oh yes, I saw some pictures. It's sad that a thing like that can happen in today's Zambia, and especially orchestrated by people who have been leaders before. either in the previous government or the immediate past government or before. It's very unfortunate. I think we should take an introspection and find out what has gone wrong with the One Zambia, One Nation motto. We have existed as One Zambia, One Nation. Because what I have is that people don't want to have a constituency put between the Lunda and the Ruvale. The Lundas want their own, the Ruvales want their own. I have to get the facts, but if that is the truth, it's very sad. So I challenge the Lundas and Ruvales to prove that they belong to One Zambia, One Nation.
Justice Minister Given Lubinda has advised Zambians not to miss the opportunity to come up with a constitution that is responsive to the current dynamics. Mr. Lubinda says negative comments about the National Democratic Forum NDF resolutions have the potential to mislead Zambians. He says Zambians should strive for a desirable constitution that is responsive to the current trends. Mr. Lubinda says the constitution should not be cast in stone but be flexible for any future amendments because trends are always changing. Now, he was speaking during a PF Interactive Forum in Lusaka today. And PF Media Director Sunday Chanda said PF Secretary General Davis Mwila will tomorrow give the party's position on the NDF resolutions.
When you have a constitution that is extremely rigid that you can't amend it, you also create problems for the future. And I'm sure that you, my colleagues, versatile colleagues who read a lot, you know the challenges that some countries are having because of their rigid constitutions. Society has moved on, generations after generation. For decades, things have been changing, but their constitution is so stuck to their past. Their constitutions are not responsive to the dynamism of life. I don't think we want that kind of constitution. However, what we want is a constitution that inspires us, so that all of us feel this is a set of principles under which we would like to govern ourselves. I don't think we should miss that opportunity again. The reason I agree to come and speak with you is to come and appeal through you to my fellow compatriots. Matters of such national importance must not be trivialized. Because the moment you attach faces to these things, you are bound to mislead the majority.
The Secretary General will be there to give the position of the party in Kitwe. And we hope that with what the Minister has presented and what the Secretary General will present tomorrow, the allegations and the malicious misrepresentation of what the position of the party is on a number of issues will be put to rest.
Now, the tarring of the Nakonde Kanyala Road is progressing well. Special Assistant to the President for Projects Implementation and Monitoring, Andrew Chella, has noted that the 83-kilometer stretch will boost economic activities in the area. Sinis now reports.
The upgrade of 83-kilometer Nakonde Kanyala Road to bituminous standard in Mchinga is progressing well. This came to light when Special Assistant to the President on Projects Implementation and Monitoring, Andrew Chella, inspected the works. Mr. Chella told Zambia News and Information Services, ZANIS, in an interview that the total value of the project is about 450 million kwacha.
It is valued at about 450 million kwacha.
Nakonde District Administration add this to say.
We are grateful to the President of the Republic of Zambia, Mr. Edgar Chagvalungu, for extending a portion of the road extensions, especially on the Nakonde Kanyala road. It will open up the country through a linking to Malawi and to Tanzania. So the economic benefit that our people have along this road are enormous.
And one of the local subcontractor who has been engaged in this project also add this to say.
As the government has done, the 20% which has been given to subcontractors, that us as subcontractors, we recommend that one. very well.
Construction of road infrastructure shall open up the country for increased trade and investment opportunities, and this will create more jobs. Once the Nakonde-Kanyala Road is completed, it will link Nakonde, Chitipa in Malawi, and Tunduma in Tanzania. Felix Ngoma-Chilufya reporting for Zanis in Nakonde.
Chief Kafwimbi of the Namwanga-speaking people of Lusaka district has called for timely delivery of inputs by government to ensure food security. Chief Kafwimbi was speaking when Minister in the Office of the Vice President, Sylvia Chalikosa, paid a courtesy call on him at his palace. Ms. Chalikosa assured the traditional leader that government has put measures in place to ensure farming inputs are delivered on time. Here's a report.
Most parts of the country experienced drought during the last farming season. However, to the contrary, Lusaka district in Muchinga province had good rainfall. This is why Chief Kafwimbi of the Namwanga-speaking people of Lusaka district has told Minister in the Office of the Vice President, Sylvia Chalikosa, that his chiefdom is food secure. However, the traditional leader wants government to deliver farming inputs on time for the next farming season. And Minister in the Office of the Vice President, Sylvia Chalikosa, assured the traditional leader that farming inputs will be delivered in good time to allow the farmers to plan.
September, October. Lala chita wangu mwaka na beshiba atikuno ko enfula ya lokele bwino kuti kwafune ifya kwafidishoko ifya kudya fishamene bwino.
Ms. Chalikosa also inspected the reconstruction of a 1x2 classroom block at Nakamala Primary School, which had its roof blown off last year due to heavy rains. The minister expressed concern that over 200 pupils from grades 1 to 7 have to share 2 classrooms. The reconstruction of a 1x2 classroom block is expected to be completed in 2 months' time. Prince Chiuni, ZNBC News, Lusaka.
We take our second break, and after that join us for agriculture news. Now, President Edgar Lungu has urged the Luapula residents to take advantage of the large agro-investments in the region and participate in the value chain. President Lungu has also called on large enterprises in Luapula to establish linkages with enterprises that will be in the industrial yard. The head of state was speaking in Chembe district when he officially commissioned the Mansa sugar plant. We have more in the following report.
The Kashiwa-Kasenga border post is of great importance to support the private sector enterprise, and I demand that it be rehabilitated and opened soon. And it is even more pleasing that the Mansa Sugar Limited is in the process of establishing an outgrower scheme here in Chembe in collaboration with the local community to cover up to 1,000 hectares.
The $50 million Mansa Sugar is launched in Chembe district. It is one of the biggest agricultural investment in Luapula province that guarantees many jobs for locals here. Agriculture Minister Michael Katambo views it as a venture that will empower local farmers through the outgrower system.
This investment will capture almost a number of farmers in the catchment area who will be engaged. This is the assurance that we've gotten from the company management that they will engage outgrower scheme for the farmers who are in the catchment area.
Another serious agro investment in the province is the Sunbed cassava plantation in Kawambwa district that is earmarked to benefit about 20,000 local farmers through the outgrower system.
That they will engage about 20,000 small-scale farmers who are going to be engaged into outgrower schemes. Also, they will be able to be producing the planting materials because the Luapula province now has been hit with 2 major cassava diseases, the cassava brown streak disease and the cassava mosaic. These diseases so far have no cure. The Sunbed bioenergy company is working with our Zambia Agricultural Research Institute in generating non-disease-free planting materials.
The two investments will also provide a ready market for farmers that will be involved in sugarcane and cassava production. For ZNBC News, I'm Nicholas Mwale, Nais in Luapula Province.
Northwestern Province Minister Nathaniel Mobukwanu says the debut expo will give prominence to agriculture. Mr. Mobukwanu says the province has a good rainfall pattern and soils with enough water bodies which can sustain the agriculture sector. He told journalists during the Provincial Agriculture and Commercial Show in Solwezi that agriculture will remain the mainstay of economic activities going into the future. Mr. Mobukwanu also said the investment exposition has incorporated a concept to promote certain infrastructure development projects under public-private partnerships. He revealed that some of the projects under the concept include Solwezi Kipushi Border Road, Kasempa Kaoma Road, Kasempa Mumbwa Road, and the Kolwezi Solwezi Road. The Northwestern Expo will run from 18th to 24th August 2019. The Zambia National Farmers Union, ZNFU, says that the provision of extension services in the agricultural sector requires concerted efforts from all stakeholders. ZNFU President Jarvis Zimba says the production landscape in Zambia is dynamic and farmers need knowledge to use certified seed in view of the climate change and diversification. He was speaking during the launch of Corteva brand in Zambia, which is a combination of Pana and Pioneer seeds. And Corteva Zambia Managing Director Samson Nyendwa said the firm will continue offering best solutions that serve the interests of farmers. Meanwhile, Corteva Africa and Middle East President Prabdeep Bajwa says the company decided to operate in Zambia because it is a hub of agriculture activities.
Thank you very much. Looking forward to a productive, fruitful, long, sustained partnership. Thank you.
Thank you. We have partnered so well in many areas. Many of you, members of the press, you are aware that we have held a number of key events in the current of farmers. We've held the few days of national character with Zambia National Farmers Union. We've held the planting launch with Zambia National Farmers Union. We have collaborated and held the Harvest Day that we just held about a week ago, where the head of state graced that occasion. We did that with Zambia National Farmers Union.
The signing of this memorandum of understanding today between the Zambia National Farmers Union and Corteva Agri-Science is a major milestone for the agriculture sector. This is because it will enhance the knowledge of Pana seed and Pioneer seed to many households in this country. Yes, Pana and Pioneer seed have been on the market for some time, especially among the large-scale farmers. But time has come for small-scale and emergent farmers to make new discovery on what the certified seed under these brands can do for them.
The Zambia National Farmers Union cherishes the collaboration with Corteva Science because together we can contribute to the transformation of the agricultural sector landscape in a unique manner during our lifetime. Farmers are excited with this corporate responsibility with Corteva Agri-Science is showing to the farmers in form of field activities.
Well, that's all we had for you on Agriculture News. Thank you so much for watching. And now for the rest of the news. Lusaka Central Member of Parliament, Margaret Mwanakatwe, has embarked on a women empowerment program in her constituency. Mrs. Mwanakatwe, who is also Finance Minister, has donated chickens for rearing in Sikanze ward to enable women become self-sustainable. She assured women that various agricultural projects such as fish farming will be introduced to support the existing program of chicken rearing.
Women, I want to empower you. As I empower you, women, I know you will not disappoint me. You will not disappoint me. When we did this last week, Lusaka Central constituency, Lusaka Central office. Malonda yanayamba directly. Vambogulisa.
Now, PF National Youth Chairperson Kelvin Sampa has warned youths in the party against indiscipline. Mr. Sampa, who is also PF Kasama Central Member of Parliament, says he will disown youths who will be used as tools of violence against anyone. Mr. Sampa has since promised to embrace all the youths from the PF and other groupings for the sake of continued peace, love and unity in the country. Mr. Sampa said this in Lusaka when he interacted with youths from Vision Ambassadors, a non-profit making organization. And Vision Ambassadors National Coordinator Mishek Kombe said the appointment of Mr. Sampa shows the confidence President Lungu has in the leadership of young people.
We wish him God's guidance as he leads the youth and for being VA's National Youth Chairman.
One thing that I want to emphasize on our youth is that refrain from bad vices. People with positions, let us respect them. With my reign, I don't want to hear youths insulting our leaders. If you have burning issues, that is why we are there. We've got provincial leadership, and those provincial leadership, I'll be working with them. If you can't manage to see them, come and see me.
Everyone is happy that he's been given this position. It means there is a lot of hope, for the youth in the party, and not only in the party, but also, in the whole country, because he's just a good person for, that position.
In foreign news tonight, U.S. President Donald Trump abandoned the Iran nuclear deal to spite Barack Obama. This is according to a leaked memo written by the UK's former ambassador in the U.S., Sir Kim Dorotch, who described the move as an act of diplomatic vandalism. And in other news, the United Nations is tomorrow expected to hold a conference over the worsening Ebola situation in the Democratic Republic of Congo. For more, here's DWTV. As we end the news, President Edgar Lungu says government will continue prioritizing investments in health systems that will enable the country to attain universal health coverage. Well, that's it for the news. Thank you so much for watching. Do join us at 22 hours Central African time. Good evening.